Spotify has added new playlists to its app, but they're not for humans. These playlists are actually for your pets. Here's how it works. If you go to spotify.com/pets, it'll ask you questions about your pet's personality. Then create a playlist based on that, as well as your own music. If you don't want to go through all the questions, well, there's also another playlist you can find under My Dog's Favorite Podcast. It's a total of 10 hours with human voices, relaxing music, and even ambient sounds like rain. So some of us may opt for just leaving the radio or the TV on for our dogs while we're away, but are they even paying attention? We went to an animal psychologist for answers. First of all, yes, dogs are paying attention to the music, but one study showed there are some genres dogs just hate.
What they found was that the dogs really got upset at hard rock. I mean, dogs are not headbangers, apparently.
Pop music seemed to have no effect on dogs, and classical music seemed to calm them down. There were also other genres that pups favored.
If you shifted to things like soft rock, Phil Collins, Air Supply, that sort of stuff, the dogs would settle down, and then after a couple of days, that would wear off.
That's because apparently dogs like a variety, just like humans. And if you're trying to switch it up and don't know what to play for them, our expert says music that's around 72 beats per minute helps soothe dogs. That's around the same tempo of a dog's heartbeat. Some songs in the tempo include Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen and 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. Well, it's a way to help some struggling children connect with themselves and others. Dance is making a huge difference in the lives of young people with autism.
You know, having a child that's kind of locked in his own world all the time, having him come out and show you a little bit of what's going on in his head is, I can't even put a price on it.
Monday, how dance is physically changing some people's brains.
All right, well, winter is going to be making up for some lost time here. We've got that wintry mix that arrives later this evening into tonight. That transitions to rain, briefly warmer on Saturday at 47, and then frigid temperatures on Sunday, 19, while it will feel like we're around 0 with that wind chill. Temperature 22 for the high on Monday. We moderate a little bit by Tuesday. Thanks for joining us on the Now Indy. The news at 6 starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Almost scary to be a pedestrian downtown because people running red lights, driving too fast, not stopping before they make a turn on red.
Now at 6, a push to improve safety for drivers and pedestrians in one Hamilton County community. What police say you need to know.
The state is creating a brand new adoption unit. I'm Stephanie Wade with their plan to bring more Hoosier families together.
More Hoosiers are dying from the flu, and it's still spreading. What doctors say you need to hear right now.
But first, at 6 o'clock, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. We're tracking sleet, snow, and possibly even freezing rain. But it hasn't even hit yet, but it is coming.
We begin with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Kevin, what's the timeline for all of this to come into the area?
I think it's slowly developing, and the more widespread probably comes after 11 o'clock tonight into the early overnight hours. That's not to say we don't have some action here in the next few hours, especially western Indiana. Light snow developing toward Terre Haute, western areas along the Wabash River in the next couple of hours. Periods of light freezing rain will go into the early overnight. We'll wake up to just all rain first thing on Saturday morning. The advisory has been pushed to the south to include Terre Haute, Spencer, just north of Bloomington, but anywhere from Martinsville to Shelbyville and Rushville north. Inch or less of snow. We're not talking about a lot of precipitation. As far as freezing rain, less than 1/10 of an inch, and then the rain is the more significant part of this during the day tomorrow. Let's talk about what's happening. It looks like it's snowing on radar. This is not reaching the ground. You've got to get here into Illinois. See the change in color, the darker blues? That's where the air is saturated and you're starting to get some light snow reaching the ground. Temperature in Indy up to 31 now. We've jumped another degree. That's the game we'll play. Temperature and location of this precipitation, but around 7 to 9 we see a little push of some snow, may mixing with a little sleet, and then as we get to the late night hours, we'll begin to see the more widespread activity arrive. More details on that and the big changes to the weekend.
Thank you, Kevin. And the Indiana Department of Transportation says crews are ready for this onslaught of winter weather. INDOT tells us its drivers have been pre-treating roads and interstates for 24 hours with the hope that streets are not as slick. The agency says crews are not fatigued like last year when they were called in nearly every weekend. The last call out was in December, so INDOT says drivers are ready to go. And the Indy Snow Force team of the Department of Public Works has a full call out of drivers that will stay on the roads through Saturday. Just remember, if you have to be out, slow down, give yourself extra time to stop, and don't follow the car in front of you too closely. Also have a blanket, charged cell phone, food, and water with you, just in case you get stuck somewhere. And if you don't have the RTV6 app, you should download it now. We have real-time forecasts of the winter weather, live radar, live traffic cameras, video, pictures, everything to keep you prepared of what is to come and what is happening now.
Now to a push to increase safety in one Hamilton County community. Police are increasing their presence in downtown Noblesville. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is finding out it's part of an effort to educate drivers and prevent crashes on already congested downtown streets.
It's almost scary to be a pedestrian downtown because people running red lights, driving too fast.
Brian McCarley has lived in Noblesville for 35 years. In recent weeks, he's noticed an increase of police patrols in and around downtown.
One morning on the way to work, kind of 9 different people pulled over just in about a 20-minute period, 30-minute period, just driving around town.
Noblesville police say it's part of an effort to enforce traffic laws that cause most crashes in the downtown district. Violations like speeding, running red lights, and stop signs.
I think most people want to follow the rules and do a pretty good job of following the rules of the road, but I think we're distracted and we're in a hurry, and so we maybe push the yellow light or the red light a little too far, or push the speed limit a little too far, don't quite come to a complete stop at a four-way.
Well, people don't pay attention. Yeah, it gets backed up, but they're not paying attention.
Eugene Clark is a regular at downtown businesses. He hopes more police will improve safety in the area after he was involved in a crash.
So I got hit by a semi. I was waiting to make the left turn onto 8th Street from Logan, and a semi sideswiped me.
Noblesville police want to remind drivers that the speed limit here in downtown Noblesville is just 20 miles per hour, but typically they see drivers going much faster, around 30 miles per hour. They say that is dangerous not only for other cars on the road, but also pedestrians.
Trying to walk, even if you're in the crosswalk, you kind of take your life in your own hands by doing that. And you really have to be not just a defensive driver, but a defensive walker.
Police say there is a reason why there are 3 traffic lights on Connor Street and Logan Street close together. It's to slow down traffic. To improve safety downtown, they also want pedestrians to be aware of their surroundings and always use the crosswalks. Working for you in downtown Noblesville, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Well, Noblesville police say it's not uncommon for extra enforcement in certain areas of the city. After receiving complaints from drivers, they often conduct extra patrols out on State Road 37. Police did not say how long these extra patrols will last in the downtown area. If you're concerned about a traffic safety issue in your community, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. All new at 6, the Fishers Police Department is getting a new police K-9. The department says they're getting a new K-9 partner at the end of the month and will start a 9-week training course with the dog. Fishers Police K-9 Harley was killed last year while on duty. The 2 people accused in connection to Harley's death have been arrested as part of a much larger crime spree.
To help get more kids adopted in Indiana, the state is creating a brand new adoption unit. Governor Holcomb says the state facilitated nearly 2,500 adoptions last year, but he wants to better organize how the Department of Child Services handles those adoptions. Call 6 Investigates Stephanie Wade talks to the head of the agency about their new efforts.
1,400 children are waiting to be adopted right now in Indiana. And to shorten the wait times for them to find their forever homes, the director of DCS is adding more jobs to create a brand new adoption unit.
We can't be afraid to say that we need to be better. So let's just work on it and get better.
That's why Governor Holcomb announced at his State of the State address that they're creating an adoption branch within the Department of Child Services.
Not only to streamline it for the kids so that it isn't taking nearly as long, but to help it make a lot more sense to the parents.
Terry Stigdon, the director of DCS, says the same family case managers that were working with the children throughout the case We're also helping find them an adoptive family. Now they're separating the roles to make the process quicker and more efficient.
So this unit will help to relieve a lot of that so that the family case managers in the field of the front line can really focus on safety and permanency for the children that we have open cases for.
They're hiring for 14 positions within the unit that will help with marketing, recruiting families, assess if the child and family are ready, and bring awareness to the need for adoption. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, more flu deaths in Indiana this week, and despite we're in the middle of January, it's still not too late to get a flu shot. The Indiana State Department of Health now reports that 31 Hoosiers have died from the flu this season. That's up from 22 deaths reported this time last week. No one younger than 25 has died from the flu this season. But a story we did last night at 11 shows the flu can be dangerous no matter your age. 13-year-old Josh Roy is still recovering at Riley Hospital for Children after the flu turned into almost deadly complications. He was flown to the hospital in October and was on life support for 54 days. The flu brought on complications like septic shock and hypoxia. On Thursday, Josh got to reunite with the IU Health Lifeline crew that played a big part in saving his life. Josh didn't have an opportunity to get a flu shot because his symptoms set in much earlier than the season before the flu usually hits people. Indiana health officials continue to warn people the flu is still spreading and it's not too late to get your flu shot. But what should you do if you start seeing symptoms of the flu?
Staying at home is a big thing. Seeking medical attention, of course, when symptoms first begin. The sooner you come in, the better outcomes you'll have. And then wearing a mask and then hand washing. The big thing is hand washing. Anytime you sneeze or cough, you have to wash your hands or else it can spread to the next person.
Once Josh Roy is released from the hospital next week, he will spend 100 days. He would have spent 100 days there. Here's a reminder. You can get your flu shots from your primary care doctor or at urgent care clinics for little to no cost.
January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and today the Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault and Human Trafficking hosted a unique event. It's called Creative, Resourceful, Resilient, a day for survivors by survivors. The survivors got together to learn how to move forward and gain a new sense of security. Genevieve Meyer is a survivor advocate, and she hopes today's event can help women and men who have experienced the trauma of human trafficking.
Trauma and going through difficult things is very personal and it's different for everyone, but it's nice to know that you're not alone, that there's other people to love on you and understand, and that you are worth it.
You can learn more about human trafficking support groups and things to be on the lookout for. Visit IndianaCESA.org.
A proposal introduced in the Indiana House of Representatives this week would ban abortion in the state at any point in the pregnancy. Representative Kurt Nisley, a Republican from Goshen, introduced the bill. Nisley's bill changes the definition of human being from an individual who has been born and is alive to having human physical life regardless of whether the individual has been born. The proposal would make any abortion a murder under the law. Nisley presented a similar bill last year. It did not get a hearing.
Moving to the RTV6 newsfeed, Illinois Street has reopened months ahead of schedule between McCarty and South Streets downtown. Citizens Energy Group says it has completed the portion of the Dig Indy tunnel system that impacts Illinois Street. The closure was originally expected to last through July. Citizens Energy says milder weather helped to speed up construction. Again, Illinois Street has reopened between McCarty and South Streets downtown.
Investigators are trying to figure out how a person died on the city's west side. IMPD says that when officers got to the 2300 block of Centennial Street just after 1:30 this morning, they found the person dead on the sidewalk with apparent trauma to their body. That's close to Centennial Park near Lafayette Road and North Tibbs Avenue. If you have any information at all, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
New details about the death of a little girl from South Bend while on a cruise. Court documents just released say the grandfather who dropped her from a cruise ship window was, quote, unquestionably aware a window was open. The family of Salvatore Anello sued Royal Caribbean for failing to install safety devices on a window he says he did not realize was open. Royal Caribbean now wants the case dismissed, saying surveillance video shows the man leaning out of the same window and held the girl out of it before she fell. Fire tears through a portion of a vacant Southside motel. Indianapolis firefighters say the fire erupted on the second floor of the former Best Inn Motel in the 4500 block of South Harding Street just after noon. Investigators say the flames were found in 2 units of the old motel. No one was hurt. It is not yet clear what started the fire.
Country music fans, get ready. The lineup for the 2020 Country Mega Ticket at Ruoff Music Center has been announced. The concerts include Brooks and Dunn, Chris Young, Thomas Rhett, Rascal Flatts, Lady Antebellum, Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, and Tim McGraw. Tickets go on sale Friday, January 24th at 10 a.m. The Mega Ticket guarantees you the same reserved seat at each concert. Hiring Hoosiers, a huge jobs announcement in Indiana.
A major company says it's pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into its Indiana facility. The new jobs that are on the way.
And the most critical 12 hours in the entire 7-day forecast, the next 12 hours. You can see what's between Terre Haute and St. Louis. That's headed to central Indiana. We'll be right back.
All Culligan water and start saving today.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 effort to connect you to careers, and tonight a big jobs announcement for Indiana. Toyota says it will invest $700 million into its plant in Princeton, Indiana, which the company says will lead to 150 new jobs by the end of the year 2022. Toyota says this investment will help modernize its Princeton facility. It will also help the company meet demand for its Toyota Highlander SUV, which is produced in Princeton.
In an effort to keep people safe, new streetlights are coming to some West Side neighborhoods. Today, Indianapolis City County Councilor Jared Evans announced 12 new streetlights in the area of South Norfolk Street, Biltmore Avenue, Worth Avenue, Ingomar Street, and South Whitcomb Avenue. Those lights are supposed to be installed within 8 weeks. If you think the area where you live needs more streetlights, go to indy.gov and search Operation Nightlight.
Well, tomorrow, hundreds of people will get one of their toughest workouts of the year. They will race up the stairwell at the One America Tower in downtown Indianapolis. It's called Bop to the Top. So we'll run, some will run, others will walk and even crawl up these 780 steps. Each person runs up to the tower individually, all 36 floors. They go every 20 seconds. Bop to the Top starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
And surprise, you have another weekend to enjoy the Circle of Lights in downtown Indianapolis. This week, downtown Indy announced the removal of the Circle of Lights is delayed again because of the forecast. The display is now scheduled to come down on Saturday, January 25th instead of this weekend, so you have another chance to look at those beautiful holiday lights. Who said Christmas ever has to end?
It goes on and on. The wind is an issue tomorrow, 40-mile-per-hour gusts. This is not in Indiana. Just thought I'd show you what it looks like up in Chicago. They've had visibility down to a quarter of a mile. This is the White Sox field there, and O'Hare had quarter-mile visibility in the last hour. For us, maybe a flurry in the western portion of the state. The push of moisture just now reaching southwest of Terre Haute and Sullivan back to St. Louis. As far as our freezing rain potential, very light. Precipitation expected less than 1/10 of an inch, in most cases less than that. And as far as snow, as you go north of Indy, could see 1 inch or a little more, where I think the snow may last longer. Clearly, if you're up toward Chicago, South Bend, into lower Michigan, you're looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow there. For us, what complicates the forecast a little bit, temperatures at the ground level here, cold, below freezing, so the warmer air comes in over the top of that. That will give us a period where we'll see some freezing rain until the warm layer takes over from top to bottom and changes everything then to plain old rain. Temperatures around the state, 36 in Evansville, it's 32 in Terre Haute and Bloomington. That warmer air will be drawn to the north slowly, not in time though, I think, to prevent any mixed precip. 7 o'clock tonight, a little snow may mix with some sleet at the onset, and notice how hit and miss this is through 11 o'clock. It's really overnight, which isn't bad timing. Fewer people out during the overnight, and we see the light freezing rain 1 o'clock in the morning expand to the northeast, but by the time we get up, everything goes according to plan. We'll be pushing any freezing rain out of the state, and we'll have decent rainfall across all of central Indiana. Temperatures 1 o'clock in the morning at freezing. from Indy to the north, above freezing already to the southwest. We'll all wake up with temperatures above freezing, in some cases in the low 40s south and west of Indy. Our peak temperature mid to late morning tomorrow in the upper 40s, and then temperatures fall from there. The strong wind 30 to 40 miles per hour through the day. 7 a.m. widespread rainfall. That continues through the first part of the day. Then in the afternoon, that colder air continues to spill into the state, and it doesn't stop until you wake up to about 12 degrees Sunday morning, dry, 19 your Sunday high. Notice what we don't have next week. Much in the way of moisture. Dry Monday through Thursday, gradually warmer each day. We'll have another opportunity for some rain next Friday and a 46-degree high.
All right, so be careful out there tonight after the 11 o'clock hour, especially. Thanks, Kevin, for that.
Brad Brown is here with sports. Hey, Brad.
Thanks, team. It is tourney time all over the area on tonight's high school basketball schedule. County semifinals are just getting underway. Marion County boys at Southport, Johnson County games at Franklin, and Delaware County has semis tonight as well. Plus, it's the finals of the girls' city tournament with Heritage Christian playing at Cathedral. We'll have scores and highlights from these and more for you coming up tonight on the news at 11. Annie, good evening, everyone. The Pacers are getting set for their annual Disney on Ice road trip. After tonight, they have 5 straight games out west, but they will be coming back home to a scheduled return for Victor Oladipo. They have that to look forward to. The season is halfway done now. The Pacers won 26 of their first 41 games, and the second half has the potential for even more. Tonight, it is a rematch here against the Timberwolves. Pacers got a solid road win up there on Wednesday. Domantas Sabonis continues playing at an all-star level. 29 points, 13 rebounds. The point total Wednesday matching his season best.
Yeah, I felt like they were just collapsing more, so I was just making the reads and getting guys open, getting Doug open, Malcolm open, and making them make shots, and that won us the game.
Oh, man, he's patient with his moves, very skilled down there. It's almost, if he gets it on the block, it's an automatic bucket down there. So the way he maneuvers and he uses pump face and his body control is second to none.
Here is the schedule for the Pacers road trip. Starts with a back-to-back. They play Sunday at Denver and Monday at Utah. They have the Suns, Warriors, and Trailblazers after that. There's a solid chance to get 4 or 5 wins out of this trip. Again, back home January 29th when we could see Victor Oladipo back in action at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Which IU team will show up this weekend? The one that rocked Ohio State a week ago in Bloomington, or the one that scored just 50 in Wednesday's loss at Rutgers? The numbers from that game are certainly forgetful, at least from an IU perspective. They were just 2 of 19 shooting from three-point range, less than 40% overall in the game. This isn't the first time the Hoosiers have had a night like that this season either. Here's Archie Miller today. IU beat Nebraska, their next opponent. That was in Bloomington about 6 weeks ago.
They were very confident in here, I guess, about a month ago. So they have our attention. They have, our ultimate respect. In our first game, we did a lot of good things. Being able to rebound and draw fouls, played with some pace. But we weren't good enough defensively by any stretch.
Saturday, a very busy day for college basketball. Most of the local teams are on the road. Butler plays at DePaul. IU's got the Huskers, and Purdue will be at Maryland tomorrow. Ball State and IUPUI are at home. Jags tip at noon at the Coliseum. UIndy and Marion traveling as well. Some good news for IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe. He has secured a sponsor to race here in May. The technology company Genesis is on board with the 2016 Indy 500 pole winner. Hinch will race in both the Grand Prix and the 500 this year. We're still waiting to hear what team he'll be with. As of now, Hinchcliffe does not have a full season ride in the series. The new IndyCar schedule is less than 2 months away. March 15th is the first race in St. Petersburg, Florida. Time for us to take another break. We're back to wrap up tonight's edition of the News at 6 next.
Join today and get your first bet risk-free up to $500.
Welcome back. Time for the RTV6 photo of the day. RTV6 director Jennifer Shirley shared this mesmerizing picture with us.
This is an up-close look at frost that was on her car this week. Look how detailed that is. It almost looks like little snowflakes.
Yeah, when you have to scrape off your car, frost is a nuisance, but we've been scraping a lot this week. This is what everyone means when they say it's time to stop and smell the roses. Even frost has a level of beauty to it, right? Well, we want to see your photo of the day. Email it to news@WRTV6.com.
I want to know what kind of camera she used for that.
A good one. It looked like a microscope, didn't it? All right, from frost to snowflakes. In western Indiana, I would say between Williamsport, Attica, down to Terre Haute and Sullivan, the next hour, you begin to see some very light snow. That moves to the north and east. Snow accumulation inch or less in most spots.
All right, see you back here at 7 o'clock.